Welcome to all. Next, we are going to see about fourth unit from computer forensics. Here, we are going to see about hackers. Here, we are going to study the following topics with hackers: vices, computer crimes, hacker attacks, modes of computer security like password security, network security, uh, web security, distributed system security, database security. First, crisis. Internet has grown very fast and security has lagged behind. Uh, Legions of hackers have emerged as impedance. Entering the hackers club is low. It is hard to trace the perpetrator of cyber attack since the real identities are camouflaged. It is very hard to track down people because of the ubiquity of the network. Large-scale failures of internet can have a catastrophic impact on the economy, which relies heavily on electronic transactions. Computer crime, the beginning. In 1988, a worm program written by a college student shut down about 10 percent of computer connected to the internet. This was the beginning of the raw cyber attack. Today we have about 10,000 incidents of cyber attack which are reported and the number grows. Computer crime in the year of 1994, a 16 years old music student called Richard, better known by the hacker alias data stream cowboy, is arrested and charged with breaking hundreds of computers, including those at the Griffith Air Force Base, NASA, and the Korean Atomic Research Institute. His online mentor, Fuji, is never found. Also, this year, a group directed by Russian hackers broke into the computer of a Citibank and transferred more than $10 million from customers' account. Eventually, Citibank recovered all but 4 lakh of the pilfered money. So this is the subject in the year of 1995. In February, Kevin Mitnick is arrested for a second time. He is charged with stealing 20,000 credit card numbers. He eventually spent 4 years in jail and his release. His payroll condition demand that he avoid contact with computers and mobile phones. On November 15, Christopher Pye becomes the first person to be jailed for writing and distributing a computer virus. Mr. Pye, who called himself the Black Baron, was sentenced to 18 months in jail. The U.S. General Accounting Office reveals that U.S. Defense Department computers sustained uh, like, 250,000 attacks in 1985. In March, the militia virus goes on the rampage and wreak havoc with computers worldwide. After a short investigation, the FBI attacks down and arrested the writer of the virus, a 29 years old New Jersey computer programmer, David L. Smith. More than 90% of the large corporations and government agencies were the victim of computer security breaches in 1999. In 2000, In February, some of the most popular websites in the world, such as um, Amazon and Yahoo, are almost overwhelmed by being flooded with uh, bugs purpose for data. In May, the I love you virus is unleashed and clogged computer worldwide. Over the coming months, variants of the virus are unleashed that manage to cut out companies that didn't do enough to protect themselves. In October, Microsoft admits that its corporate network has been hacked and the source code for further Windows products has been seen. Why security? Some of the sites which have been compromised: US Department of Commerce, NASA, CIA, Greenpeace, Motorola, Unica, Kirsch of Crest. Some sites which have been rendered ineffective: Yahoo, Microsoft, Amazon. Why do hackers attack? Because they can. A large fraction of hackers' attack have been planned. Financial gain, espionage, venting anger at a company or organization, terrorism. Type of hackers attack: active attacks and passive attacks. So these are the two types of attacks mainly they are available. The first active attack here, denial of service, breaking into a site. In breaking into a site, intelligence gathering, resource usage, dissipation. Passive attack, sniffing. In sniffing, password sniffing, network traffic sniffing, and sensitive information sniffing. And information gathering. Model of hacker attack: over the internet, over LAN, locally, offline, theft, deception. Spoofing. The definition of spoofing is an attacker alter his identity so that some of the things is someone else. Email, user ID, IP address. Attackers exploit trust a relation between user and network machines to gain access to machines. Type of spoofing: IP spoofing, email spoofing, web spoofing. IP spoofing, flying blind attack. Like definition is attackers uses IP addresses of another computer to acquire information or gain access. Attacker changes his own IP address to spoofing address. Attackers can send messages to a machine masquerading as a spoofed machine. Attackers cannot receive messages from that machines. IP spoofing, source routing. Attacker spoofs that address of another machine and inserts itself between the attacked machine and the spoof machine to intercept replies. The path a packet may change can vary over time. To ensure that they stay in the loop, the attackers uses source routing to ensure that the packet passes through certain nodes on the network. Email spoofing. Definition: attackers send messages masquerading as someone else. What can the what can be the repercussion? Type of email spoofing: create an account with a similar email address, modify a mail client, telnet to 425. Web spoofing: attackers registers a web address matching an entity. Example: wordbush.com, uh, gproduct.com, guessuck.com. Man in the middle attack. Attackers act as a proxy between the web server and the client. Attackers has to compromise the router or a node through which the relevant traffic flows. URL writing. Attackers redirects web traffic to another site that is connected by the attackers. Attackers writes his own website address before the legitimate link. Tracing tracking state. When a user logs onto a site, a persistent authentication is maintained. This authentication can be stolen for masquerading as the user. Web spoofing tracking state. Website maintenance authentication so that the user does not have to authenticate repeatedly. Three type of tracking methods are used. Cookies, URL session tracking, hidden form elements. Cookies, line of text with the ID on the user's cookie file. Attackers can read the ID from user's cookie file and URL spoofing tracking, URL session tracking. An ID is appended to all the links in the website web pages. Attackers can guess or read this ID and masquerade as user. Hidden form elements. ID is hidden in form of elements which are not visible to user. Attacker and hackers can modify these to masquerade as another user. Session hijacking definition: process of uh, taking over an existing active session. Um, User makes a connection to the server by authenticating using his user ID and password. After the user authentication, they have access to the several as long as session lost. Hackers takes the user offline by denial of service. Hacker gains access to the users by impersonating the user. Here, attackers can monitor the session, periodically inject commands into session, launch passive and active attacks from the session. Session hijacking, how does it work? Attackers exploit sequence numbers to hijack session. Sequence numbers are 32-bit uh, counter used to. Receivers and senders have their own sequence numbers. When two parties communicate with the following are needed: IP addresses, port numbers, sequence numbers. DOS attack, that means a denial of service. Uh, Attack through which a person can render their system unusable or significantly slow down the system for legitimate users by overloading the system so that no one else can use it. Types of DOS attack is crashing the system or network, exhausting the resources by flooding the system or network with information. Distributed DOS attack are coordinated denial of service attacks involving several people and machines to launch attacks. So this is about hacker. So remaining things we will see in next class. Thank you.